Football has a problem. You might think, Kevin, what do you mean football has a problem? Well, I was at Wolves versus Manchester United, thankfully Wolves won, blah blah blah. But more importantly, I wanted to go back to Gary Neville's viral points, and it went through my head after watching that game and watching many Premier League games this season was the roboticness, the micromanagement, and the lack of risk takers in the modern game. To add some context to that match of why I brought it up was Dan Bentley, the third choice keeper, ends up going in goals. You know, if it was your team, you'd want them, take some risks, test them early, not even like an experience, but like Eriksen tested them. Actually, he was the only player to test him technically because he took the free kick that went central the goal that he tipped behind for a corner just because it had a lot of power. Other than that, he could have got the deck chair out and enjoyed the Manchester sun. What a lovely day, by the way. Enjoyed myself. Lovely free kick, Sir Abel. But it was just the roboticness, and Manchester United cared more about getting to certain areas of the pitch rather than what was effective, trying to change the game and someone to take a risk and carry that team. It didn't make sense. Like, everyone should know, you know, it's a keeper that wasn't expecting to play. Someone take a risk, test them early, something. But Manchester United, like many teams this season that I've watched, they care more about where they're getting to on the pitch rather than what they're getting from it. And that is a issue. You know, Southampton early in the season, they've been, you know, very much in the eye of the media with how poor a start they had this season, well, how poor they've been all season, but with how open they were at the start of the season with the style of football. Last season, Burnley, of course, was very much the thing. And speaking of Burnley, I feel like their manager company of that time failing upwards. You know, he failed very badly in the Premier League and somehow got one of the best and biggest jobs you can hope for as a manager in the world of football, somehow getting the Bayern job after failing miserably in the Premier League. That just encourages more managers to play a style that doesn't suit their team, so they seem more attractive to their next job because they can say they can bring that style of football to your club. And, you know, that's great, you know, create yourself a better time for there, but, you know, teams need results, especially when you're a newly promoted club. You need a battle for every point. They used to say 40 points to keep you up. Now, with how teams are coming up and trying to play all fancy, you probably need about 25-30 points. 30 points is like probably well more than enough. About 25, 26, 27 points is probably the perfect number you need to stay up now, because teams aren't battling for points like they used to. They're now coming up and trying to, you know, this fancy pet ball clone that people love to dub it. I've got nothing against pet ball, you know, because, you know, Celtic play quite a similar way in dominating the ball, sucking players into the centre back plays out wide or into the midfield or into the inverted full back, and you're creating a new point of attack. You shift it along, you shift it across, suck them in, create the opening, play it through, go, and you just suck teams, you dominate them, you suffocate them. It's really good when you got the players and you got the budget. If you have the best players and you have some of the best players in the league, play pet ball. It is a great way to play. If you're a team that's not in those top 4 or 5 best teams in your league, you shouldn't probably play it because you've probably not got the players to play it the best way and the most successful way, when you could be playing a different system, maybe a more risk-taking system whilst being more solid defensively, and that's the way you should be. For example, I go back to Wolves. You know, we'll talk about Wolves versus Manchester United to start off the video. Wolves started the season under Gary O'Neill, who's been very stubborn, playing 4 at the back. Wolves do not have the defenders or the players to play a 4 at the back, and have been very much like that since they came into the Premier League. They've only ever had really a squad to play a 3 or a 5 back. Wolves then go back to playing this 3 back that was really successful under Nuno, under Vitor Pereira. You know, you've got the 3, the 2 wing backs, the 2 midfielders, the 2 10s, and the striker. You know, that is much more successful. It suits the squad. You got a big striker, you can link in the 2 10s to be creative and to be an attacking output, whereas being this, you know, 4 at the back, trying to play at the back, being open. You know, if you look at Wolves' goals conceded, it is absolutely crazy. Even though Wolves have turned it around and now 5 wins in a row and lost 2 games since February, but their goals conceded still looks crazy even after going on this great run, because of how open they were at the start of the season. And that could have been very bad. You know, that could have been a massive loss for the club if they were to go down. And it's all because of stubborn managers trying to play this attractive way, because they're going on shows like Monday Night Football trying to almost show themselves off for our next job. We're seeing managers do that now, and it's all about seeming like a good manager rather than being a good manager, and that is an issue in itself. And I feel like company getting such a big job after failing adds to that. Pep, obviously, everyone wants to be Pep. Pep is one of the best managers of all time, but it only works if you've got the best players, a certain level of budget, and the players want to also suit that style of football. You can't be a team that's not got the quality and not got the players being that low in the league and trying to play that. And again, you've got certain teams trying to just get into areas. That's what all they go about. It's not about players being almost captains on the pitch and changing things, and that's an issue. Where's these risk takers? Where are these leaders in the modern game? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.